Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy DUBLAYE here. We're back with a brand new video, and in this one I'm gonna be doing it a little different. I'm gonna be doing a more tips and tricks or content styled approach to it. All my in-game settings, my details to like sensitivities, all that, kind of going over them with you. Also, I get my filter requests a lot. I do play on a colorblind setting, which we'll go over later, but I also do a little adjustments in my OBS software, which is basically my streaming software if you're not familiar with it. If you guys are new here, make sure you drop a sub down below. Either way, if you're coming back, man, make sure you double check. We're uploading at least 3 videos a week right now. I'm always tapping into the feedback on the comments or the likes to see what's working and what's not. That's really it though, man. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Alright, here we are with the settings, man. I'm gonna keep it as short and concise as possible. These basic settings have been in the game since day one, so I'm just gonna kind of go over them short. Most important thing I would say is I'm on 1600 DPI on my mouse, so that factors into why I'm on what settings a lot. But let's go ahead and get into it. This mouse sensitivity is just my basic sensitivity of me moving around just like this, you know what I mean? Go here to the multiplier. We don't really mess with those, man. I just changed this one to double it. And you do end up changing the multiplier, it just times this number by this number, so 2 times 4. That's my sensitivity in my air vehicles. As far as legacy goes, man, I never really changed it. I just started on mouse and keyboard and kind of stuck with what was there. However, the ADS zoom I did change recently. I noticed I was on gradual and it didn't really feel exactly how I wanted it to, like how I preferred. I tried all 3 of them and I ended up going with the after zoom as my final choice. That way, when I'm in the middle of a gunfight and I just tap my right click, it won't necessarily change my sense right away unless I hold the right click. That's what I found was most beneficial for me. Going on to the multiplier in general for your ADS, I wouldn't recommend changing this because whatever you set this to, it will multiply by your sense, what you set it to. These are my newest sensitivity settings for my mouse though. I really like how they incorporated the custom zooms as you're seeing right here. It really is going to make a huge game changer compared to using all the different types of scopes. There's some scopes I really haven't even tapped into yet, so those are probably subject to change, but these are what my settings are as of now, and they've really been working out for me. Go all the way to the bottom, man. We got all this weird stuff disabled. I never used it from the beginning, so I'm not going to use it now. I just keep it all disabled and off. Going on to the movement stuff, man, I'll give you a demonstration of what all this is. Basically, you could jot it down. Slide behavior is tap, crouch behavior is toggle, prone behavior is toggle as well, which I'll kind of explain going into the binds. Basically, when I'm running, I tap to slide. When I'm standing, I tap to toggle crouch, and then if I'm standing and I hold, I will toggle prone. One thing that I found super key to movement, and it also is a little hard to adapt to at first, is the auto tack sprint. It works wonders once you get it down, but also it can mess you up going into gunfight. You go to just simply walk and you accidentally start sprinting instead of aiming. So once you pass that hump, it's GG's from there. It's helped me a lot in so many situations, so maybe it can help you. For the last 2, I would say the most important one is hold to use. I don't like using that. I just like being able to tap to use stuff, so I disable it. With the auto deploy parachute, same kind of thing. I like being able to tap my spacebar as soon as I'm about to hit the ground rather than it just doing it for me at a certain height, so that's why I use those. This movement stuff right here is pretty basic as well. I'm not going to go over every single one individually, but I'll just go over key ones basically that I think you should know about. Auto move forward, simply if I'm flying in the air and I don't want to hold W the whole time, or we're just running across the map, I hit left control. I honestly never use it, and I wouldn't recommend using it in gunfights. I feel like it could get you killed more than it could help you, but if you don't have this binded, I would definitely suggest binding it to at least something, just like I said, just in case you want to be lazy. When it comes to my use bind, this is what I use to open doors or pick up loot. I do have E binded as well as my scroll wheel up. I just found that's the most convenient for me. It's what I got used to. This is where it gets a little tricky. I do have my crouch unbinded, my prone unbinded. However, I did change this to do it both, and I also unbinded all of these so it didn't interfere with it. So what this does is, like I explained earlier, I can change my stance, which is standing, sliding, crouched, or laid down, all with one keybind. So by doing so, I'll be able to tap it once, crouch, hold it, lay down, and if I'm running and tap it, it slides. I kind of did the same thing for the caps lock. When I do need to sprint after I'm laying down or something, W just doesn't get me up quick enough, I do spam the caps lock to get up, and as well, by doing this, it'll do it to your steady aim, which I found is most beneficial. When it comes to the walking bind, I don't really care for it. I haven't found it useful yet. However, I might add it in, but who knows. The depleted ammo switch, I do like it to switch guns when I'm completely out of ammo, so I do turn this on. Keep my delay for the switch set to 0. I want the quickest switch over possible when I'm changing my gun. guns. I do keep this weapon switch around, so when I'm hitting my binds, it'll just switch back and forth no matter what. When it comes to your equipment and your plates, I would definitely recommend hold for equipment. That way you could cook your grenades, and then also for your armor plates, make sure you apply all. You have this select on one, use your plate bind, it'll just put one plate in at a time. If you ever need to cancel your plates, you could just hit the right trigger on your controller to shoot, or you could just click fire or any other keybind to interrupt the plate. That'll cancel it without interfering and keep plating up when you're trying to fight. These ones are all pretty much the same as my last video. I think I changed 1 and 3 to my weapon switch because I want to be able to WASD, and I don't want to have to use this one finger to switch both. I want to use this finger to switch one and this finger to switch the other. Other than that though, these are all pretty much the same as my last video. I don't want to go into these too much, so go ahead and just take them down if needed. I didn't really mess with these binds too much. I just kind of changed my kill streaks to the numbers, and then other than that, I kind of left them basic to match all my other key binds. Nothing should be changed in this one compared to my last settings video as well. Everybody's PC builds are completely different, so my settings might not work the best for you. So always take that into factor. Here we are with my display settings. Real quick though, I will be showing you my OBS settings, which are my filters. This just helps brighten up my stream settings just a tiny bit. I try to get it to match my monitor, my stream as best as possible. This is what I'm seeing is basically what you're seeing. Now that's out the way. I've been requested a lot. Do I use Nvidia filters? What are my filters? Those are my filters. I don't use anything extra. I think the Nvidia filters run a little bit too much and hit my frames a little too hard, so I don't really like them. I think they're a little bit too extra in general. Other than that though, man, I'm going to kind of speed up this process. I haven't changed anything since my last settings video, so tap into that if you need to. I play on 120 obviously, and then I keep my ADS FOV on affected. That way when I zoom in, it's not too zoomed in to where I feel like I'm on a console. I also changed my camera movement to least at 50% because I don't want my camera or screen shaking. I want it as steady and least movable as possible. The rest of these I kind of just tuned to will help my game perform better, so if you guys want to do that, I would recommend doing that as well. I'm gonna pop in here and say disclaimer, I am not colorblind. I simply just use the colorblind because I like it. I think it makes the game look a little bit more vibrant, especially adding the filters I showed you. It does help. I've always liked keeping my mini map as a square if the option's there, simply just because you can see more obviously, and I do keep the rotation on. I'm gonna be honest, man, a lot of these are just preference of what you're used to, or if you just know. I've always had my mini map rotated, so I just kept that on. Same thing with the compass. Don't really care for these. I just left it the way they were. Go down to the bottom. This is where I turn stuff on to see my GPU temp, like my latency or my frames when I'm gaming. As far as audio, this is kind of preference as well, along with all the other settings. A lot of them are just what you prefer. Boost low is what I've been on for the audio since it came out, so I haven't changed it. I have my XLR adapted to my settings as well, so I feel like I hear it the most perfect way possible. And I'm just going to kind of go over these because this has been the same since almost day one. So last but not least, I will be timestamping this video and hopefully all the future videos. So right after this, I'll be showing my settings just back to back in the most simple form, just in case you need to come back to the video and you don't want to hear me or see me talking over and over. If you don't know, man, we're live every day on Twitch, so I'm about to put these settings to the test and go live. Make sure you tap in, man. Link will be in the description, and I'll see you guys at the intro.